Good morning, Josh. What do you make? This is a very interesting case, a tragic case, but obviously Lynette's daughter, Karli, there is quite suspicious of what transpired.
Yeah, certainly some of the facts raise eyebrows. When you talk about certainly one of the things that stood out to me was the time delay before she was reported missing. So according to the reports, they go out on this small boat at around 7:30 at night. It's not till 4 a.m. the following morning that he's reporting her missing. Now, I understand that they were several miles off the coast and he had to paddle back because the boat was unpowered at that point. But still, there seems to be a large amount of time that's unaccounted for there. In addition to that detail that just seems strange about the idea that she's carrying the keys and that's what disables the motor when she falls off of the boat, according to his story and retelling of the events. But most troubling is what was brought out in that interview that you conducted with the daughter, that if there was a history here of violence, and not only just violence in the sense of perhaps arguments, but violence in the sense that she's saying that he was actually physically violent with her and threatened things like what we're seeing occur here, that I think is most troubling. Now, listen, I'm not trying to draw any conclusions, but this is enough for me. You would think that investigators have some questions that need answered.
And you would think that U.S. investigators would jump right into it. Lynette's daughter is called for that, hasn't heard an update on that. But here's a little more of me diving, Josh, into her sense that something's not right. Watch this. Do you suspect foul play in this incident?
A little bit at the moment.
And have you spoken directly to him about your concerns?
I spoke to his daughter, which is my stepsister, about this and what I thought.
And what does your stepsister say?
She believes it doesn't add up. She was thinking about going down there to see him, which I think is not a great idea right now.
That's an interesting comment there, Josh. What do you make of it?
Yeah, very interesting. I mean, you could make the argument at first that this is the daughter of the mother, and perhaps we don't know about the dynamics of the relationship between her and the stepfather, but if she's saying she's having conversations with his own daughter and that she is as well has questions about this, it's certainly something that I hope U.S. investigators are creating a liaison between the local authorities and assisting at least in their investigation, or at least perhaps putting some pressure that they want to make sure things are done right. But if ultimately this does become a criminal investigation, there is an opportunity for a U.S. prosecution here because it does involve U.S. citizens.
And we do know that the State Department is working with Bahamian officials. The Bahamian Royal Police are the point on the investigation right now. But I do think, as someone who has done lots of investigations and understands this stuff, as you do, Josh, that timeline of getting on the dinghy, departing at 7:30 p.m., and then not arriving some 4 to 5 nautical miles away until 4 a.m. raises some of the most glaring questions as to what he was doing. And Lynette's daughter, in our interview, sort of suggesting that he may have even gone back to the yacht before he goes on land. Your thoughts?
Yeah, like I said, that was the thing that first stood out to me, is that it's a long period of time. We're talking about, 7 to 8 hours there that is unaccounted for, that you're going to ask, well, what were you doing during that time? Were you making any efforts to contact anyone during that time? I can understand if the boat was disabled, but are you saying that you don't have any kind of cell phone, radio available to you on that vessel, that you can contact someone? And how long would it take an individual to get back to shore from the distance that he's saying he was when she went overboard? It is the thing that I think is most concerning, and the thing that I would be most, I would focus my attention on if I were conducting the investigation.
Yeah, and you have to admire Lynette's daughter, Karli, for the courage of speaking out and trying to bring attention to this tragic case. Josh Ritter, thank you very much for taking time.